Okay, hi guys. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Chowk, Harish, Sai, Rohit, Sam, Om. Okay. So guys, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So I see most of the people are from Hindi side and few are there non-Hindi. Okay, so let's continue with our session. Okay, so I consider I just want to know you people are from the IT background or from the non-IT background, or just you want to learn the Oracle PLSQL. I just want to confirm, just enthusiast, so that I can prepare my demo session accordingly. You just let you know how Oracle, what is SQL and all, why to learn this. So anyone can tell me that both they are from IT background or just non-technical background. Just want to confirm. Okay. Okay, so as part of this Oracle PL/SQL development, we are having this syllabus of our SQL and PL/SQL. I'm just sharing. Hope my screen is visible to you. So this is the syllabus which we are going to cover as part of the SQL and the PL/SQL development. Okay.
So your screen is not visible actually.
Okay.
Your screen is not visible.
Okay. Just let me share again. Okay. Is it visible now?
Still not.
Okay.
But I can see your screen.
Yeah, it is visible now.
Now it is visible. Yeah.
Sorry, I just stopped now. Is it visible, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So as part of this SQL, this is our syllabus in which I covered most of the points, and few points are have not mentioned in this syllabus, so that we will cover later point in time as we move ahead. So this is a demo lecture. So I just want to let you why should we learn SQL, why should we learn PL/SQL. Okay, because there are different technologies which are present in the market, and there is a good growth in that technology as well. But why one should learn SQL or PL/SQL? Okay, so it's not like we don't have a boom in the market for the PL/SQL and the SQL. Yes, there is a boom because every application has a very strong backbone of your database. Okay, and to access that database or to fetch the data from that database, we need language. As I'm speaking with you, to make you understand whatever I'm teaching you, I'm using a language which is it might be any language. It might be a PL/SQL. Okay, I'm sorry. It might be Hindi, it might be English, any language in which I can make you understand, right? Hence, here again in a database as well. As I said, every application has a very strong backbone of a database because the application's data be stored into our database. Like your mobile, you have a mobile phone, right? You have a mobile phone and there is a storage in it. Might be the storage is 128 GB. Some mobile phone has 64 GB data size or a storage size in which you store the data of your mobile phone. Whenever you click a picture, that gets stored into your memory, mobile phone memory. And whenever you require that data, you just open the gallery application and just see that photos and videos, whatever you stored into your mobile phone. In a similar way, companies has their applications. There is a database to store the data from that application. Once they store the data into the data application database, they fetch the data for the decision making purpose or to run the business. But how they communicate to the database, as I'm communicating with you by using English language. But database. So database is nothing but a storage. It's a storage software, we can say, in which we store the data. But if I want some data, how can I communicate to the database? So there needs a language, right? So there are different languages are there in the market, like a Java. We have a .NET as well. Okay. But to communicate to the database, we have a specially designed language. We call that language as SQL. Okay. So we call that language as SQL. Okay. So this is the language SQL which we use to communicate to the database, because SQL don't understand Hindi. Okay. He just understands the SQL. So the full form of your SQL is a structured query language. Sorry, I'm very bad in writing on tab. Structured query language. Okay. Structured query language.
Nitin, I think we are not able to see what you are typing. You can see only your Oracle that.
Okay.
But
What
I can-
document?
Okay. This screen might be visible.
Yeah, now we can see.
So SQL is a structured query language which we use to communicate to the database. So I will give an example. Okay. Suppose this is a company. This is XYZ company. Okay. Now there is one application. Suppose this is a bank. Suppose this is XYZ bank having a database, and that bank is using so that bank is using an Oracle database. Okay. This bank is using an Oracle database, and that bank is using a FIN1 application. So most of the bank uses this application, FIN1. Okay. There is a FIN1 or a Pinnacle application which is used by the bank. So whatever the transaction or the processing happens through this FIN1 application, it gets stored into the database. Okay. So once the data gets stored into your database, and later point in time, bank want to make some analysis on that data. Okay, want to see the loan details of all the customers of bank, or want to know the revenue of the bank. Okay, they just use that data and prepare the report monthly, quarterly, yearly, basis on that requirement. Okay, so how this bank face this data? So here the language comes into picture to communicate to the database. So here, suppose this is a user. This user, again, this is an ABC user. He has some application in between. That application might be anything. That might be a developer application like a Toad. That might be a SQL developer. There might be a PLSQL developer. These are the developer application. This ABC user, okay, this user nothing but the developer. Okay, this developer will write a query onto this application in SQL language. We will come to SQL language. What is SQL language? What is a structured query language? We will come into later in point. So this SQL language, so developer will write a query. Okay, will write a query in SQL, and he will pass that query to the database. So here the database server is there. Who understand this SQL language? Okay. Once the query reach to the database understand that language, whatever the user requested for the information for the data, and respond back to the user and provided whatever data asked by the user. Okay. So this is how it goes. Okay. So database is there. There is one application in between the developer and the database. Using this application, user or a developer writes a query onto that application. That query goes to the database. Database reads that query and return back the data to the application, and user sees this data, whatever he requested. Okay. So this is how we communicate to the database, as I'm communicating with you. Okay. Here, the database might be anything. Because in a market, there are different databases. So now, most of the banks uses Oracle, because Oracle is a very secure database. Its processing is very fast. It processes the data very fast. That's why most of the bank prefer, or most of the big organizations prefer Oracle database. There are different databases as well. Okay, that might be a SQL, MS SQL. There is a Sybase, we can say, and more and more. Microsoft SQL Server. So these are the databases available in the market. But as we are learning Oracle PLSQL, Okay, and there are now Oracle. We are learning a Oracle database, and the version is 11G. We are learning a database of 11G. So this is a version of Oracle. So there are different versions of Oracle as well. Earlier there is 8i, 9i, we have 10G, we have 11G, now 12C, 18C, 19C, and 21C is the latest one. Okay, so these are the versions of your Oracle database. So we will see when we start with the actual session of our class, we will see the feature of this database later point in time. Okay, so just keep in mind what is database. Okay, now database, as I said, is just a storage which we use to store the data into the data of your application, of your organization's data, and later point in time you use that data for the reporting or a decision making purpose. Okay, for the processing purpose. Now let's jump to we use a language to communicate to the database. So that language is SQL. Now what is SQL? So as I said, it's a structured query language. So what is structured query language then? Okay, then what is structured query language then? Okay, so now in any language, while communicating, we use different metaphors, we use grammar, right? Metaphors, there are different metaphors as well. We use verbs, we use adverbs, we use a subject. So every language has some grammar in it. Okay, in English, suppose we take the example of English. We write a query, whatever we write in English, we write in this form: subject plus verb plus object. So this is the fixed syntax of your English. In the same syntax, you just speak, you just write it. Okay, subject plus verb plus object. In a similar way, Oracle has its grammar, its syntax, we can say. In that syntax only we write a query. That query goes to your Oracle application. Your Oracle application understands that language, whatever you write in that Oracle, in a SQL. Okay, so as this is in a structured format, your English language is very in a structured format. In a similar way, your SQL language is also structured. We write a query in a structured language. Okay, just like I will give you an example. Suppose this is my company database XYZ. In this database, there is a user. Suppose there is user HR. We call it as a schema. Okay, so schema is nothing but a user. And this user HR has created one table called employee. Okay. This user HR has created an table employee. Okay. And this employee table having the fields. Now what is fields, what is rows, we will cover it a later point in time. I just making you understand what is database, what is SQL and all. Okay. So this employee table having the data fields called EMP ID, suppose ename and salary, and the employee ID 100, 101, 102. There are 3 employees, A, B, and C, and his salary is 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. Now, user has some requirement. He wants to see the data of the employee having employee ID equals to 100. So I'm just writing a query into SQL. Select star from employees, where EMP underscore ID equals to 100. So I have written this query. Okay. So this query I have written in English language. If you wonder, I have written in English. Okay, I'm speaking with you in an English language, and I have written the query in SQL in English language only. If you wonder, oh, it's in English. It's very simple, plain English. Select star of employees, select star from employees, where employee equals to 100. This is the English only. This is a very plain English, but in a formal syntax. So that's why we call it a structured query language. So why we call SQL as a structured query language? Because it's the English only, but in a formal syntax. I have written a query in English, but in a structured format. In what structure I have written? While writing a query, I have used select. So I'm ordering the database. I'm requesting the database to select star. The star is nothing but all the fields from your data, from the table. The star is nothing but all the columns from your table. So I requested database to select all the columns. Then database asking, okay, you are asking me to select all the columns, but he is asking from where I need to select the data, from where I need to select these columns. Then I have provided, I just inform him, just select all the columns from this employee table. Then I have provided the employee table name as well. I just inform him that select this data, all the columns from this employee table. Then database is saying, okay, you are asking me to select the data from this table, but this data having multiple columns, multiple rows as well. There are 3 rows in this column. This employee table having 3 rows, 3 records are there. Which record do you want to select? Do you want to select all the data, all the records, or do you want to select conditionally? Only single record or 2 records or 3 or all the data. Then I am informing, okay, select only those records whose employee ID is 100. So I am again giving him a condition. Okay. So now in SQL language, I am instructing a database or I am requesting a database to provide me the data, whatever I'm asking in a structured language, in structured format. Because here I'm asking database, do this, and do this. Okay. Select this from that and this data. So that is why we call it SQL as a structured query language. Okay. So this is how we write a query in a SQL, Oracle SQL in a structured format to fetch the data from the database. Okay. Okay. Now let's jump to the main point. Now I have made you understand what is SQL, why we use SQL. Okay. These 2 points we covered so far. Okay. Now let's jump to the next point. Why SQL then? Only why SQL? Okay. Why we learn Oracle? Why should we not go with the rest of the languages? There are Java. Java is the evergreen. Then why should one not learn with Java? Why only one should learn SQL? I'm not saying that you should learn SQL only. I also ask you to just learn Java if you have that capabilities. You have a very good command on your technical language, technical skills. Just go and learn the Java. Okay. It's not like I'm just saying, okay, you have a very good skill, then you just learn Java, don't learn SQL. No. Every technology has its domain. Okay. Everyone has his skills. Based on that skills, everyone learns whatever he wants. Okay. If you have multiple skills, it's good for you. If you have a limited skill, again, it's good for you. I have only one limited skill. My domain is Oracle PLSQL only. I'm into PLSQL development only. I don't know Java, but still I'm growing. My career is growing. Okay. So why we use one should learn Oracle SQL or a PLSQL, SQL or a PLSQL. We haven't covered PLSQL yet. What is PLSQL? We just covered SQL. So why one should learn SQL and a PLSQL? So because why I'm telling you learn SQL and PLSQL, because it's very easy to understand, because it's just plain English. As I said, it's a structured query language, which is a plain English in a structured syntax format. It's in a formal syntax. It's very easy to understand. It's very easy to code. There are fixed concepts in Oracle PLSQL. Limited concepts are there. You just cover that concept, prepare it very well, and get place. I just guarantee you that once we cover this syllabus, you will be in a position that you will tap your back and you will tap your chest and will say, okay, I'm ready to get place. You prepare this SQL PLSQL very good, practice a lot. In 3 months, you will definitely get good job. If you have an experience, if you put some experience, if you have a 3+ experience, get 10+ package. If you are a fresher, ask 5+. You will definitely get this much. And based on your capabilities, you will ask for more. Okay? Because SQL is very simple to understand. Understand? There are limited. You have to prepare those concepts and get place. One more thing. To understand the rest of the language, someone can go and do it, please. Okay. So to learn other language, you need a very good technical skills. But this SQL or PLSQL, if a non-technical person want to learn this, he will be able to learn this and get this. Any non-technical person, BA person, Bachelor of Arts. So Bachelor of person, Bachelor of
voice is going
SQL and PLSQL.
Sir, your voice is echoing. Voice is not audible properly.
Okay. Sorry. I guess, is this fine now?
Yes,
Yeah,
Nitin.
it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, great. So any non-technical people, if someone joins from a BA background, I will train him and I will assure him that he will get place. Because SQL is very easy to learn. It's very easy to understand. Whatever we write, whatever query or whatever program we will write in a English only, in a structure format, in a syntactical format. You just prepare the syntax, you just understand the concept, implement, write the query. This is the only work in PLSQL. As a developer, PLSQL developer, if you get place, okay, if you get place in a company, you will find it's very easy to work. It's very easy to start with your career. Okay, suppose suppose I'm passing 2012. I have completed my BCA. Okay, I have completed my BCA in 2012. Then I have a gap between my education, 3 years gap. Then it's 2015. Suppose there is a 3 years gap. Okay, then I changed my mood and I joined SQL PLSQL. SQL PLSQL. I learn it. I prepare it for 6 months. I prepared it. Okay. I prepared SQL PLSQL very hard. I practice a lot. I prepare all the concepts. Then I started giving interview. In 2016. Suppose I have started interview, but I have covered this gap of education. Okay, by saying I have a 3 years of experience. Because I have prepared SQL and PLSQL in such a manner that I'm very confident that I will say, look, I have a 3 years of experience.
अरे हिंदी में बोल लो सर जी.
Okay. So 3+ experience I put it, and then I got the 10+. It's very easy to get 10+. Okay. So this should be you should be this much confident that okay, I prepare this, I will get this, because SQL is very simple. And as I said, there are very limited concepts. There are a fixed concept in SQL or PLSQL. And you no need to update yourself regularly, because whenever there is a change occur, whenever there a feature adds, you just want to learn that feature only. But in other languages, you need to make you update every day, because there are changes in other languages. You need to update yourself. Okay. And again, if there is an application, there needs a database. And if there is a database, you need a developer, you need a support person, or you need a DBA to handle that database, to maintain that database. To fetch the data from the database, you need a developer. Okay. To make that database running, you need a support person. Okay. To take care of database, to maintain the health of your database, you need the DBA guy there. Okay. So DBA, database or a database or a, I can say database has a very evergreen. It's very evergreen because whenever there is a data application, there is a database required, and if there is a database, you need these people. As I said, there you need a developer, you need a support guy, you need a DBA. Why? Because if there is an application, there is a database, and if there is a database, business needs that database to store the data. Okay. If there is no data, if there is no database, so how your organization or how the bank will store the data and how they manage it? How will they run that bank? How they grow in that business? And if there is a database, if they are using a database storing the data, so you need these guys. If somebody lay off some Java resource, if they terminate some Java resource, the business will not affect, because Java person works on some designing part, okay, application development. But if there is from these three persons, if there is no person available, if you have only two developers in your project, only or one developer in your project who works on a PLSQL development, if he is not there, so how you will get the data? How your database will maintain? How will he change the bank? How will he change the application data? If there is no support guy, and if some lateral point in time, if there is an error occurring in your database, so who will handle that? You need that guy. But in a Java case,
Hey.
no need. What will happen if Java person he just terminated the Java person? Their application feature will not add it. But you need a database, because whole organization or whole bank runs on a data only, or every organization runs on a data only. They need a data. Without data, nothing is happened. As you are saying, Facebook, this application who stored the huge volume or a tremendous volume of data of users, your photos and all, blah, blah, blah. So to handle this huge volume of data, you need the database persons who understand the database, who can change the database, who can make the database running, who can maintain the health of your database. They need these people. Without these people, your organization will be collapsed. Without database,
Hey.
your organization will be collapsed. Your application will not be running. So that's why everyone should, okay, not everyone, if anyone wants to make a career, or if anyone wants to start a career in IT, I will ask them to just learn SQL, learn PLSQL and get place. But yes, in case, obviously, they need a package, because it's not very easy. As I'm saying, it's not very easy, but it's easy. But why I'm saying it's not easy, because if you not practice, nothing will happen. If you practice, I guarantee you, within 3 months of course, you will definitely get place with a good salary package, because it's easy. But it's easy when you practice a lot. Okay. So this is why everyone should start a career with SQL. Okay. Okay. Sometimes, again, now I have just raised the concept. There is a courses for testing as well. Sometimes I do ask people to join testing as well. I just ask people to join the testing classes as well. But I ask only those students who just want limited salary package. Okay. If you want, because this is the tester. If there are 10 developers, you need only 2 guys for testing. But here 10 developers requires only, and behind 2 developers, only 2 testers are there. For the testing, based on my experience, there is a less scope for the testing. It's not like there are not jobs in testing. Yes, there are. But if there are 10 developers, behind that developers, you have only 2 testers. But here is a very good scope for developers. So that's why instead of doing testing, why should you learn the development? Go into development. So that's why if you want to start your career, you have a limited technical skill. If you are a less enthusiast in technical field, if you are a fresher, if you are a BPS guy, if your background is not technical, you are from a non-technical guy, no issue. Join SQL, learn SQL, prepare a lot, practice a lot, and get place. It's very easy. Okay, and you just want to write English only. You don't need to use very hard keywords in a Java, like the keywords which is in a Java. You don't need to use a pointer and all, blah blah blah. I also don't know Java much. I do know, but not that much. There are different concepts in the Java. Very huge concept. You need to get updated every time. But in SQL or PLSQL, there are limited concept, fixed concept. I can sell fixed concept. Prepare those, get place. Okay, again, at the demo session only, I will tell you to get place, you need 100% knowledge. I can say to get place, you need 100% knowledge, because interviewer might ask you anything from that SQL PLSQL. But while working, you need only 50% knowledge, because if you know the concept, suppose you got the requirement, you want to work on it, but you haven't know the thorough technical part of it. You don't have a thorough technical knowledge, but you know the concept. It's good. If you know the concept, just Google it, get the code, copy paste it in your application, get the queries solved. How it works. So in SQL, if you have a good concept, though you have you are not that much technically fit, but you haven't know the concept. You know the concept, how the query works, what is the syntax, how the execution happens. You just Google it, copy paste the code in your application, get your query requirement solved. So why I'm telling, to crack the interview, you need 100% knowledge, because interviewer might ask you anything. So that's why when you join the class, I just request you, if you join the class, I just request you, whenever and whatever we covered in a class, you just practice it regularly. Okay, you practice it regularly, because you will get the concept knowledge and your confidence will be boosted. Okay, again, if you are join the class, if you are not practicing, I guarantee you I will give a certain 100 question set, SQL PLSQL 100 interview question set. By heart it, prepare it, by heart it, and get placed. But once you get placed without practicing, you cannot survive in the company, because you just by hearted that 100 question and get placed, but you haven't practiced. Suppose if your manager or your team will assign some activity, some requirement, he might ask you to write a procedure or a function, or he just ask you to change the bank, change the applications database, then you won't be able, you will be not in a position to write the query, because you got placed without a practice. Right? So from the beginning of class, from the day one, I just ask you to practice a lot. Whenever you stuck somewhere, you just ping me. I'm there. There might be a delay in replying, but yes, I will definitely, once I get free, I will reply you. Okay. Okay. So we are just, this is the, we will discuss this later point in time. Now let's jump to our next part. Okay. So we covered SQL. What is structured query language? So I told you it's a structured query language, which is the English language in a formal syntax. And that's why we called it as a structured query language. And I also told you we are going to learn in a class, we are going to learn Oracle 11G. So this G stand for grid. You might have heard Oracle 12C, this C for cloud. We will cover this later point in time. Okay, so Oracle G. We are going to learn Oracle G. 11G. It's a grid. This is at the version. Okay. Now let's jump to the main point, database. Okay. At the beginning of the class, I told you database. Database is nothing but a collection of files. Okay, collection of files, and that files in terms of database. In terms of database, files are nothing but your table. Files are nothing but a table. Okay. In a database, whatever information you stored in a table format. Whatever you stored in a database in a table format only. Because database don't understand anything. Instead, except table, he only understand tables. Because he stored the data itself in a table only. Okay. And you know, table is a, what is table? Table is a combination of rows and columns. Table is a combination of rows and columns. You know Excel. In Excel, there are rows and columns only. Suppose this is the employee table data. Employee table. Here is the employee ID, name, salary, email, department ID. I'm storing some data in it. In Oracle also, whatever we store in a table only. So that's why I call database is a collection of files in a relational format. The next keyword comes relational format. So Oracle is a relational database system. Okay, Oracle, what is Oracle? Oracle is a relational database. Okay, relational. Why I said relational? Because in a database there is not only single table we stored. There can be a multiple tables. Suppose in this database there are different users. HR is one user. There might be Nitin. This might be another user. So Nitin has created 10 tables in his schema, in his space. Again, HR has created 10 tables. So these 10 tables, suppose this is table 1, this is table 2, this is table 3, this is table 4. So there might be a relation between these 4 tables. These tables are connected to each other, having some relation. So we cover that in later point in time. There is a concept of constraint. Primary key constraint, foreign key constraint. We have a unique key constraint, not null. These are the constraints. So foreign key, primary key. By using a foreign key, primary key constraint, we can establish a relationship between these 2 tables. Okay. So what is relational database? There are a concept of normalization as well. We will see later point in time. Okay. Just keep in mind what is database. So database is nothing but a collection of tables, collection of files. In these files, we store the data. In this table, we store the data in a relational format because tables having the relation. Okay. Now I will give an example of relation just to make you understand the concept of relational database. Okay. Suppose I have this table. This is one table I have. I have this table. This is EMP ID. EMP ID. This is salary and this is DPT ID. Department ID. This is employee ID 100, 101. His salary is 500 and his salary is 600. His department ID is 10, his department ID 20. So I am storing the employee details. Hello. Ankush, might be there is some issue happened. So am I visible?
Yeah, now it's fine.
Okay. So I'm storing the employee details into this table and I'm storing the department's detail into department's table or a DPT table. So department information might be anything. DPT ID. So again 10, 20. D name, department name. It might be sales or it might be HR. Then department manager ID. Okay, or D location. So manager ID is suppose 10. Location ID might be 2, 20 or 3. Now, someone ask a query. I just want to know the details of the employee as well as the department name in which he is working. Okay. Now, someone asks you the data, like he just want to know the employee details, all the information of your employees, along with the department name. But if you see, I have stored the details of the employee into EMP table and the details of the departments table into this table. Now I have two different tables. But there is a relationship between these two tables. How the relationship is established? If you see, this EMP table having the department ID column and this departments table having the department ID column. So there is a relationship between these two tables. So here the concept of foreign key, primary key comes. So we'll learn in later point in time. So now, someone asks you, I want the details of the employee along with the department name, his department name in which he is working. So now you can looking at this data only, looking at the employees table data, you cannot say the name of his department in which the employee is working. Just looking at the employee table, you cannot tell the department name of your employees in which he is working. Okay. But when I show you, then I tell you, okay, there is a relationship between the employee table and the department table. Okay, then you click, okay. Employee ID 100, working in a department ID 10. And the name of that department ID 10, here is the department ID 10. The name of that department ID 10 is sales. So now you can tell, looking at both the tables data, you can tell, okay, the employee ID 100 is working in a sales department. So you need both the tables because in a single table, you just store the details of your employees. And in second table, you just store the details of your department's table. Now, looking at both the tables data, you can confidently say, okay, employee ID 100 works in a sales department. Employee ID 101 works in a HR department. Because there is a relationship between these two tables. Because here is the department ID and here is the department. This column is common. So this is why I said Oracle is a relational database system. It's a relational database because your table having a relationship between them. There is a relationship between. Without a relationship, you cannot fetch the data, whatever you require. You can fetch if there is a data, you require data from a single table, you can definitely fetch. But if you want the data based on the multiple table, if you want to data from the multiple table, there should be a relation. Because if there is no relationship between the tables, you cannot fetch whatever data you require. There should be a relationship. If you are fetching the data from a single table, fine. No relationship required. Okay. Just keep in mind, it's a relational database system. Later point in time, where we covered the normalization, there you will again get the clarity of this. What is relational database? Why we need a relational database? There are certain characteristics of relational database as well. Okay. There are core rules we can say. We will cover that later point in time. So now database we covered. Database is nothing but a collection of tables. Okay. And to fetch the data from that from the database, we need a language, and that language is SQL. To make you understand whatever I'm teaching, I need a language, and that language is SQL. Similar to that, okay. I'm just making you understand. I'm just speaking that language by using my mouth. Your ear is listening to my language, listening to my words, and you are understanding it. It's similar to that. Oracle also needs some language, and that language we write in an application. That application might be anything. That might be a code. That might be a SQL developer. That might be a PLSQL developer. So that's nothing but the mouth of your SQL language by which you speak to the database. So that whatever you written, okay. And again, I'm just speaking. You are listening and you are understanding it. But In SQL, we write a query. Whatever we want to communicate to the database, we write it. We write it on a developer application and we pass it to the database. So the database don't need to, we just don't need to speak to the database. We just want to write it on a developer application and pass it to the application. I guess am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Someone said no audio. That's it. Naresh, am I audible? Okay. So we just write a query on a developer application and we pass it to the database. Database understand it. Database understands it. Get the data whatever we requested and return back to us. Okay. Again, it's not like that. You just pass the query and database understand it. It's not like that. There are again a background processes are there. Database again understand the query, whether it's syntactically correct or not. Whether the parsing concept is there. He understands the query, just whether that data is really existing in our database or not. If you are requesting some data and if it's not present in your database, then database will not return anything to you. He will just return you nothing. Or need no data found. He will say no data found. Whatever data you are requesting me is not present in my database. So there is a parsing concept as well. It will check for the syntax of your query, whatever you are asking to the database, whether it's syntactically correct or not. If it's syntactically correct, then from the table from which you are asking the database, that table is really present into your database. He again will check. So these are the background processes are there. We will cover when we start with the actual. Okay, this is a part of the Oracle architecture and all. We will check, we will see that as well. Okay, so again, so as I said, SQL is a language. So English, there are the keywords, there are the syntax. So similar to that, this SQL again. This SQL again having a commands. There is a different sub language we can say. So SQL language having a sub languages, we call it the DDL, data definition language. This is a sub part of your SQL. DDL, data definition language. Again, we have a DML. This is the data manipulation language. DDL, data definition. DML, data manipulation. We have a DQL, data query language. We have a TCL, transactional control language. Okay, transaction control language. And we have a DCL, data control language. So these are the 5 sub languages of your SQL. And these sub languages having the different commands. So if you ask this DDL, data definition language, having 5 types of commands. So we have a create, we have a alter, we have truncate, we have drop, and then rename. We will go through each and every command as and we will proceed with the lecture. Okay, so create, alter, truncate, drop, rename. These are the data definition language. So what is data definition language? What is DML language? What is DQL? What is TCL, DCL? We will cover as and when we proceed with the lecture. So DML. Here in DML there are 4 commands. We have a delete, to delete the data, to delete the record from the table. Create, yes. Delete, insert, update, and merge. These are the 4 commands in DML. Then we have DQL, data query language. In this, we have only one, select. Because DQL is nothing but data query language. We query the database to fetch the data, to provide the data. So this DQL having only one command. select. We just select the data from the database. So whenever you want any data from the database, you just write select. And just keep in mind, in whole SQL syllabus, we write only select. In PLSQL, we do some programming. Okay. Again, in PLSQL, as I said, we do some programs. But again, there is a SQL only. But in a programmatical manner, there is a blocks. In that block, we write SQL. But just keep in mind, in whole SQL, because SQL is just meant or it's designed to fetch the data from the database, and there we write every query of your SQL is just start with the select only, because we select or we fetch the data, we request the data from to the database, and to request the data to the database, we use the select only. Every command, whether it's the 200 line of query, whether it's a single liner query, or whether it's a 1,000 line of query, it starts with the select only. Just keep in mind. Okay, so this DQL having only one command, select. TCL, transactional control language. So here 3 commands are there. Commit, rollback, and save point. DCL, data control. Here grant and revoke. These are the 2 commands are there. Okay. So we'll start with one by one. DDL. Okay. DDL. Data definition. Definition language. Data definition language. It is the data definition language. So why data definition language? Why we call it the data definition language? Okay. So data definition, here we are define the structure of your object. By using this data definition language, we define the structure of your object. Now we will see what is object and all. Okay. Data definition language, here as I said, we define the structure of your object. We alter the structure of your object. We truncate the data from your object, and we drop the object, and we rename the object. We will cover one by one. So what is object then? Okay, so what is object then? So in a database, there can be different objects as well. So main basic building block your object of your database, as I said, it's a table. Table is nothing but an object of your database. This is the main basic building block of your database, because your database is consists of table only. Whenever any database we create, there are tables only, and on top of that table, we create a procedure, we create a function, we create a trigger, we create a partition, we create a indexing. These objects, there are many. So we will cover later point in time as and we proceed with the PLSQL. Okay, but as I said, database is a group of objects again, and the main basic building block is a table. So table is nothing but an object. Again, there can be a index, there can be a partition, there can be a views. These are the objects in your database. Now, to define this object or to create this object, we need a DDL, data definition language. We need to create any object into your database. We need a DDL commands. So now, if I want to create a new table, I'm a user. Nitin is as a Nitin user. I got a requirement to create one table. Okay. In a company, I got a requirement. My BA assigned me one Jira. As some people might know Jira application, in which we get the requirement. Okay. So suppose my BA assigned one Jira to me, one requirement to me, in which he is asking me to create one table. Okay, into some schema, into some user. Then he will provide me some specification of that table. That is okay. Suppose he asked me to create an employee table. Then he will provide me the whatever the fields required into that table. So he may ask me, okay, that employee table may having employee ID column, having data type. So what is data type and all? We will say later. The employee ID should be there. EMP name should be there. His email should be there. Okay. So these is the details he provided to me and asked me to create this table having the name employees. To create this table into database, I will use DDL. So in DDL, which command I will use? I will use create command. Just keep in mind, to create any object into your database, whenever you want to create any object into your database, you need a create command, because create command we use to create an object. Okay, create command we use to create a object into your database. Okay, I will show you. I'm just opening the application. Okay, I'm using Toad application. Okay, in a company as well, I use a Toad application. Okay, there are different applications. As I said, PLSQL developer is there. Hope I guess my screen is not visible for Toad. I'm just allow me some time. I'm just sharing the screen. So as a developer, if you join the class, you need database. You need a database application. Means the application to write a query. So I will provide a setup and all. I will share the link of your my drive. There you can download it, install it into your system, and start practicing. Okay. So this is my Toad application. Okay. Now, okay, let me open the another session to just let you know how we connect to the database. Okay. So this is the Toad application I have opened. In this Toad application, I have a pre-configured, some users are there. So this is the HR user. I'm just entering the password for that HR user. I am connecting to the database. So my database name is XC, Express Edition I'm using. Okay. And I'm connecting as a normal user. So in a database, there can be a different user as well. So DBA is the parent user who has the highest privilege in the system. So what is privilege and all? We will cover later point in time. Privilege and all. Okay. So I'm connecting as a normal user to the database. Connect. Okay. So now I have connected to the database. So this is my editor scheme of my Toad application. This is my editor scheme. I'm writing here a query. Select star from employees. I have entered control enter. I have pressed control enter and I have executed the query. So if you see, this is the data of your employee table. Is employee ID, first name, last name, email, phone number, hire date, job ID. These are the fields. These are the columns of your database having these records. Okay. So I'm using Toad application, and this is my database. This is my database. This is my Toad application. Okay. I have connected as a developer. I have connected to this database by using this Toad application. Okay. Now I have put my credentials here in this application. Database verified it that, okay, that password, username, password goes to your database. Your database identified that. Okay. If database finds that credential valid, that database given access to access the database. Then I just write a query into this application. I pass to this database. Database validate that query and return back the data to me on this application. So here is the application. I have written this query, select from employees. This query went to database. Database validated that query and return this data to me. So that is how it goes. Okay. Now let's jump to the create command. Okay. So now I'm just selecting the data from the table express. Select star from test demo. Okay. This table is not present into my database. Table or view does not exist because I have written this query. This query is syntactically correct, but database saying table or view does not exist because this table is not present into my database. Okay. Now by using a create command, let's create a table. Create table name, syntax. Oh, okay. So in this demo lecture, I'm not going to tell you this what is syntax, what is the syntax for create, what that we will cover later. But because this is the demo lecture, I just want to make you understand what is SQL, why to SQL, how it works, how DDL command, what are the commands are there, what is PLSQL. That only we are going to cover. In deep, we will cover in the actual lecture. Okay. So I am just creating a table. Create table test demo. Okay. Now I'm just creating a test demo table in which I will give them whatever required, whatever the fields, whatever the columns I require. So I want EMP ID. I'm just giving the data type for that EMP ID. I'm giving the size 20. Okay, 2 or 3. Okay, EMP ID number 3. Then ename varchar 2. So what is varchar 2? This is the data type we will cover when we start with the actual lecture. I'm giving the size name, size. Okay, ename varchar 2 15. Then email, again varchar 2 size 30, because your email ID might be a 30 character length. And then department ID. Okay, you can say DPT ID. Number, because your department ID is always in a number, is an integer only. Okay, 2. Okay, I will add one more column, number, mobile number, M number, MOB, mobile number, having length 10. Mobile number is data type is number, having length 10, because you know mobile number is always 10 digit. So I'm giving size 10. Okay, I have created this table. Table is created. If you see, table created. So create command we use to create any object into your database. Okay, so create command we use to create a object into a database. So by using create, I have created this table called test demo. Now let's select the data from this table. Select star from test demo. Okay, table created, but there is no data because we haven't put it, we haven't inserted any record into this table. This is a blank table only. We have just created the table, we have just created the object, we haven't inserted any data into this table. So to insert the data, to delete the data, to modify the data from your table or object, there comes into picture DML language, data manipulation language. There we manipulate the data from your object. Okay, whenever you want to manipulate, you want to play with, you want to insert new data into your object, you want to modify the existing data from your object, or you want to delete the data from your object, there DML comes into picture. So we will cover DML commands. Okay, so this is the create command to create the object. Okay, now now I want to add a data into this table, so I will use insert. This is again English. I'm telling, okay, insert into. So now database saying, okay, in which you want to insert. So I'm saying, okay, insert into test demo. I'm telling him, okay, insert into test demo. Then database saying, okay, what do you want to insert? So I'm telling, okay, insert values. Now database saying, okay, what values do you want to insert? So I'm saying, okay, insert employee ID 100. For this column, employee ID, insert 100. For ename, insert Nitin. I'm inserting Nitin. Okay, for this email ID, okay, insert his email ID, Nitin 29. Okay, for this department ID, okay, insert his department ID 10 because Nitin works in department 10. For Nitin will work in department ID and 10. And insert a mobile number for Nitin, so 8975 something. Okay, that's it. I have provided all the values and now just create insert. One row inserted. I just inserted this data into my table called demo, test demo. I haven't committed it. I haven't saved this record. Okay, to save this command, to save these records, to save this transaction in a database or in a table, I want to use data control language. Okay, sorry, transactional control language, DCL. In a DCL, we have two commands, commit and rollback. Just keep in mind, to make the transaction permanent, to make the transaction save in your database, you need to use commit. So I will use commit here. Now I have executed commit. This record got saved into my database, my table. Now if you select the data from this state demo, you will see one record. Nitin 100, Nitin 29, 10. This is mobile number. So by using DML, and in DML we use as insert. Okay, so this is how we covered one insert command from DML as well, and one commit command from TCL, transaction control. So TCL commands we use to make the transaction permanent or to make the transaction undo, rollback. Okay, so by using commit, I have made the insert transaction permanent. I made this transaction. Okay, so create command from DDL we use to create the object called table. From DML we use insert to insert the data into your table, and to make the transaction permanent I have used this commit. Now I have inserted one record. Okay, now I want to delete it. I don't want that record, so I will use delete from employees. Sorry, delete from test demo. Delete. Again, I'm using this plain English. Delete from test demo. One row deleted. Okay, now I have deleted it. Let me commit. Okay, I will show you the example of rollback as well. Now I have deleted the record. Let's check the data in a table. Okay, now record got deleted. But I haven't saved this transaction. I just deleted it. I have not saved this transaction. Then I will use rollback. Then later point in time, I came to know, okay, accidentally I have deleted the record from that table, but I don't want to delete it. I want that record back. So in that case, I will execute commit. Now, sorry, in this case, I have executed rollback. Now, whatever delete transaction I have performed, I roll back it. Okay, I roll back it. Now let's again go and check the data. Your data is there because you cancel the transaction. This is a very popular example, like your ATM. When you go to your ATM, you just put your ATM card into your ATM machine. You entered your password and all. You just press withdraw, and suddenly you change your mind. Okay, I don't want to withdraw. You just press cancel button. So what you are doing actually there? You are just rolling back your transaction. You don't want to perform that. Sometimes what happened? You enter the amount to withdraw, and later point in time there might be some error occurs and said amount debited, but you don't get the cash. But after 1 hour or after some time, few minutes, you again receives a message stating that okay, the amount whatever debited from your account has been again recredited to your account. So what is that? Because there was some error or some might be technical glitch due to which your transaction couldn't complete it at that point in time. But later that transaction got cancelled, that transaction got undo. They roll back the transaction, system roll back the transaction. So this is the example of your commit and rollback. So commit, save the transaction, roll back, undo the transaction. Insert a new record into a table, delete the data, existing data from your database. Okay, insert, delete. Now I want to make changes to the data. I just want to modify the existing data. Now, if you see, e-name is okay, email ID is Nitin29. This is a very incomplete because there is no domain name in there. In that email ID, I want to put domain name as well. I want to modify this data. So by using an update command, you can modify the data from your table, from your object. Okay, so I will use command there, update. Okay, database will ask me, okay, what you want to update? I will tell, okay, update test demo. I'm telling, okay, I want to update test demo table. Then database will ask, okay, what do you want to update? What values do you want to update? So I will say, okay, update test demo set email equals to Nitin29@xyz.com. Okay, where the database will, okay, to which employee ID do you want to make this change? Okay, so I will tell, okay, where emp_id equals to 100. Means the employee whose employee ID is 100, make the changes into his or update his email ID to this. Okay, now I have written this command, I have executed it, I have committed, I'll execute the commit. If you see the data, now you will see, okay, the employee ID got changed. Earlier it was only Nitin29. Now it is needing29@xyz.com. Now what I did, I made the changes into my tables data by using update command. So update is the DML command. Merge command, in DML, merge command, we will check in later point in time. We will start with the actual. Okay. Now I have made the changes. I have updated the table. So this is how we covered 3 commands from DML. In DML we covered insert, we delete, and we updated the data as well by using DML. We were left with merge only. So we will cover this merge in actual lecture only. Now in DDL we covered create. So create we covered. So as I said, create we used to create create object. Create used to create any object. That object might be anything: index, views, synonym, procedure, functions, any object. Okay, create objects in a table, in a database. Okay. Now let's jump to the next command of your DDL. So we have a rename command. Okay. So rename command we use to rename any object from a database. Okay. So rename command we use to rename any object from your database. Suppose now I have created this table, test demo. Later point in time, I came to know, okay, this name is not sounds good. I want to change it. So by rename command, I can rename. Okay, test demo to demo 1. Okay, demo 3. We can say rename test demo to demo 3. Table renamed. Okay, table renamed. Now I have renamed this table. If you try to get the data from this test demo, it will give you an error. Table or view does not exist because this table name we renamed to demo 3. So now you have to select the data from the demo 3. Okay, select, start from demo 3 because test demo we have renamed to demo 3 here. Now you will be able to see the data from demo 3 because we renamed. So rename command we use to rename the object name as well as the column name. Okay, if you want to rename the column from your table, okay, suppose I want to rename this email column to EMP email. We can also do that by using a rename command. So in actual lecture we will see that how we rename the column name as well. But for this point in time, just keep in mind we use rename command to rename the object or to rename the column or field from the table, from the database. Okay, this is the rename command. Then we have truncate command. So truncate command used to truncate the data or delete the data. Truncate is nothing but a delete. Truncate the data. Truncate the data, nothing. Data is nothing but a records. Truncate the data from table or object. Okay, now in demo 3 we have only one record. I want to delete it, all the record at one shot. Suppose this demo 3 is consider this demo 3 the demo 3 table having a 1 lakh record, and I want to delete that one record quickly, fastly. I want to delete it. Okay, then I will truncate this table. Truncate table demo 3. Let's execute. Table truncated. Now if you select the data from this demo 3, you will not find anything because I have truncated the data. Okay, so truncate is nothing but a delete. But if you again say there is a delete command in DML, then if there is a delete command is there, then what is the use of truncate? Okay, so there is a difference between this truncate and delete, and this is a very popular interview question. What is the difference between the delete and the truncate? Okay, so we will cover this in actual lecture, difference between the delete and the truncate. Just for this point in time, truncate, we use truncate to delete the data from a table, okay, at one shot. or fastly. If you want to delete data fastly, then go with the truncate. Okay, the difference, there are many differences between the delete and the truncate. We will check in the actual lecture. Okay, so truncate we use to truncate the data. This is the command to truncate the table. Okay, now we covered create, truncate, rename. Okay, create, truncate, rename. Then we left with the two. Okay, we have alter and drop. Okay, so now let's move to the alter command. Alter command. So this command we use this command to alter, or alter is nothing but a change. Use to alter or change the object structure. Alter command we use to change or alter the structure of your object. Suppose you have created this this demo3 table. You have created this demo table having these many fields: employee ID, e-name, email ID, department ID, mobile number. Okay, I will show you the structure of this. Okay, in Toad application, if you move your cursor to that object name, move the cursor to your object name, press F4. Okay, press F4. The object structure will open. This window will open. Here you will see. Okay, employee ID. His data type is database number and its size is 3. Email, his data type is _var_2, 15 byte size. Email, _2 is data type. This is the structure of your object. Now I want to alter the structure of your object. Okay, now if you see this employee ID number having the size is 3, means only 999 employee ID you can store, you can put into your table, this demo3 table. But later point in time, if your company grows and there might be 10,000 employees, but this 10,000 employee ID you cannot put into your number 3 because the size is 3 you have already given. Okay, now let's check the demo of this. Okay, insert into demo3 values. Okay, 100, e-name, okay, Nitin. Okay, then email, Nitin, 1 to the XYZ, suppose something, anything. Then department ID 10, then mobile number something. Okay, this record if you insert, it will insert perfectly fine, no issue. Now again, let me insert new record and I am giving here the employee ID as 10,000. It will give an error. Value larger than specified precision allowed for this column. Why is giving an error? Because you decided the size of that column 3. It means you can insert the employee ID max to max 999. But here you are inserting 10,000 as the employee ID, which is larger than the specified limit size. Now how can I tackle this situation? I want to insert the employee ID at 10,000 because my company is growing. I want the column size of that employee ID column size larger. How can I do that? So here your alter command comes. So alter table demo3, alter table demo3, modify. So here the modify commands comes to modify column emp id number, and I will give the size 5. Let me execute. Missing keyword. Okay, alter table demo3. Okay, I'm just forgot the syntax. Okay. Modify. Execute. Table altered. So now I altered the size of that column. Earlier it was 3. Now I have made it 5. And let me execute this insert command. one row inserted successfully. I'm committing it. If you see the data, you will find that records. Look, 10,000. You are able to insert. So this is alter command. This is not the only single purpose of your alter. There are again different purpose of it. We will see it in actual lecture, but just keep in mind we use alter command to alter the structure of your object or any object. Okay. So this is how we covered 4 commands of your DDL, data definition language. Now we left with only one command, that is drop. So drop command we use to drop. We use to drop any object from database. To drop any object from database, we use drop command. So drop command is very simple. Drop table name. So demo 3. I don't need this demo 3 table anymore. I don't want it. So I'm just dropping it. Okay. Drop table demo 3. I don't require. Table dropped. Okay. And now if you see the data, if you try to access the data from this table, you won't be able to access because this demo 3 is no more present into your database. It's giving an error. Table or view does not exist because we deleted that. We dropped that table. We dropped that object. So this is how we covered all the 5 types of DDL commands. Data definition language. Drop, truncate, rename, alter, create. Okay. Now, and we covered 3 commands from DML. We covered 3 commands from DML. From DML, we covered delete, insert, update. And from DDL, we covered these many. DQL, it's a very simple. We have already covered this. We selected the data, select star from employees. So select DQL from DQL, select is the only one. DQL, to select the data from a database, from any object, we use select. So instead of any object from a table, if you want to select any data, we use select. TCL we covered 2, commit and roll back. So I said commit, we used to commit the transaction to make the transaction permanent into your database, and roll back to roll back the whatever transaction we perform. If we don't want to make it commit, we roll back it. Save point, we will commit. We will see the save point in actual session, actual lecture session. There we will see the example of save point. Save point again is similar to rollback only. Up to certain point we can roll back. So we'll cover it in a later point. Grant and revoke. Okay. This granting the privileges and revoke, these are the mostly used by the DBA person. Okay. DBA person provides the grant. Grant is nothing but providing a access. I will give you an example. When you join the company, so very beginning you don't have access to any system. You are not able to log into your system. Then your manager or IT team raises a request for you for the access to you. So you get the access, then you will be able to log into your system. So what that access mean? The DBA, the IT person allows you grant some privileges to you. He gives some privileges to you by using some commands. So that command is nothing but the grant. So grant command we use to grant or give the permission to the user. Okay. So once you get the access, you can access the data system. Okay. Revoke. Suppose you left the company. So later, after some time, after few days, all the access get revoked. Okay. IT team revoked your access. Whatever access he grants to you, he revoked it. And again, you go to company. When you go to company and try to access the system, you won't be able to access because you don't have access. The team has already taken away all the access. So that purpose, grant and revoke comes into picture. So again, we will see it in actual lectures, actual practical example of grant and revoke. But just keep in mind, this grant and revoke is mostly used by the DBA person. As a developer, I rarely use that commands. Okay. So we as a developer, we rarely use this command, but DBA person mostly use these commands. Okay. So this is how we covered all the sub languages of your SQL. We covered what is SQL and all. So this is a very we can say this is not a brief. We can say thoda upar ka example. Okay. but we will see in that very in a deep in the actual lectures only. Okay. Now I will just give you a short description about the PLSQL. Okay. Okay. So now let me share the one more screen as well, that I will tell you what we are as a part of SQL, what we are going to cover. So I just given you the just short description about the SQL. So when we start with the actual, we will. So today also we covered this, why to use SQL, how history of SQL. So these are the theoretical parts. In an interview, no one will ask you. Okay, they do ask in an interview, but when they ask, if you are going as a fresher, if you are joining as a fresher, then they will definitely ask you what is SQL, what is the history of SQL, what are the types of SQL, practical implementation of each SQL. Okay. Okay. So again, here we will cover these types of SQL, practical implementation of SQL, writing simple and complex queries. Okay. Query writing, we will see different data types. We will see group by having. So this is the syllabus of your SQL. Okay. Introduction to 11G. What is the characteristics of SQL 11G? We will see. Retrieving data by using select statement. Okay. Restrict and sorting. Okay, how we conditionally fetch the data, we will see. Single row subquery functions, we will see. Conversions functions are there, date functions are there. Subqueries, we will see correlated subqueries as well. Okay, these are the very fixed concept. Okay, once you prepare this concept, you will be pro in a SQL. Okay, then we will see operators in SQLs. We will as we see the DDL, DML commands. These are the commands we will see in a deep. Okay, we will see constraint. We will see views. In views, there are different views. We have a force view, we have a complex, we have a materialized view. Okay, we again see the synonym, indexes, partitioning. Okay, all these concepts we will see. We will again, once we covered with the SQL and PLSQL, we will see Oracle architecture as well, how the queries internally works, executes in Oracle. We will again see that. In a deeply, we will again see SQL loader, external table, GTT, global temporary tables. These are the very fixed concept we will cover as part of the SQL syllabus. Okay, so we will cover that in when we start with the actual lecture. Okay, so I will give you a short description about the SQL. So what? Sorry, PLSQL. What is PLSQL? Okay, let me open the. Okay. So this is my, okay. I will give you a short description of the PLSQL. So what is PLSQL then? If you have a SQL. If you have a SQL, then what is PLSQL? Guys, allow me to plug in the charger. Okay. Okay, so if we have a SQL to fetch the data from a database, then what is the need of PLSQL? Okay, why PLSQL is needed? So let me tell you first. So PL is nothing but a procedural extension of your SQL. So whatever things we cannot perform in SQL, we can perform it in a PLSQL programmatically. So PLSQL is nothing but a procedural language extension of your SQL. This is, you can say, it's an upgraded version of your SQL. Okay, we can write a program. We can programmatically fetch the data from your database. The popular example, if you give an example, okay, in your home you get an electricity bill. Okay, whatever units you consume in a month, so at the end of the month you receive one copy of your electricity bill. So how? Okay, so in Maharashtra there is a MSCB. So MSCB is there. So this is the provider of your electricity in Maharashtra. So every month, at the end of the month, MSCB provides sends you a copy of the electricity bill which you consume during that month, in a month, and you pay that amount to the electricity bill. Okay, so this MSCB having suppose 50 lakh customers in Maharashtra. Suppose I'm just giving an example. So how the 50 lakhs customers electricity bill gets generated at the same time. Okay, how they generate this bill? Because normal by using a SQL, you just select the data. You can just select the data. Select star from employee, select the data from the table. But they perform some calculation. Suppose this is the table. Okay, this is suppose your table. Where bill data is there. So there are the customers are there. Okay. Suppose A customer is there. This is B customer. C, D, and so on. Suppose this is 50 lakhs. This A consumed in a month, Jan to Feb. Jan to Feb. He consumed 50 units. He consumed 30 units, 40 units, 60 units. And rate of per unit is 30 paisa something. 3 rupees. Okay, 3 rupees. 3 rupees. Something 4 rupees. 5 rupees. So how they calculate it for each customer, generate the bill for each customer according to his usage and send the exact bill to you. There are certain scenarios wherein the bill not generated accurately. There are the exceptions. But in a happy scenario, how they generate the bill for huge volume of customer and send to appropriate address, or how you some people might generate the bill on a internet on the application of MSCP and pay it. Okay, but some people directly go to the office and pay the bill. But how this bill generates, how they calculate the bill of each employee, each customer. So here PLSQL comes into picture. So there are already written procedures are there. Okay, what is procedure? We will say in PLSQL when we actually learn. So there are procedure written background. This procedure is called by the job. There is a job. So there is a scheduling application as well. So we have a control M. So I use control M mostly. So there is a autosys. Okay, this job execute every month. So we can schedule the timing of this job as well. They schedule so MSCB schedules this job timing as well. So MSCB said, okay, at the 30th last day of the every month, these jobs will execute. These jobs will call this procedure, and this procedure will calculate the usage and billing amount of every customer, and will prepare one report. And this procedure will put again the data into next table, and basis on this table, we will generate the bill, generate the actual bill. So to these, by procedurally, by using some procedure, if we want to perform some calculation, their functions is there. Okay, so we will create functions, the procedure functions. Suppose if you want to fetch the data from a table, from a database, programmatically by using some rules, some requirement, if you want to fetch data, so in that case, PLSQL comes into picture, because using a normal SQL, you cannot generate a bill. Only simple SQL using, you cannot generate the bill, because here conditions are there. Suppose if customer using 1 unit to 50 unit, the rate will be different, 3 rupees per unit. If customer using 51 unit to 100 unit, the rate will be different, 6 rupees per unit. So this is so again, some customer might be fall into this category, first category, some will fall into this category, and some will do different category. So basis on the usage, unit usage, you want to calculate the bill, which is not possible in your normal SQL. So by using a PLSQL, we can do this. So this PLSQL is nothing but a SQL only, but there are blocks. Okay. So PLSQL is a block structure language. Okay. PLSQL is a block structure language in which declaration section is there, in which we declare the variables and what is variable and all we will see in the actual lecture. So variable, then we begin section. In the begin section, we write our actual code, executable code. We write here SQLs. Okay. Then we have an exception section. We have an exception section. Here we write our exception, whatever exception. What is exception? And this is a basic special concept in PLSQL. Every language has this concept, exception. If you are from IT background or from technical background, you might know what is exception. Okay. So again, this is exception section, and at the end. So this is the PLSQL. In this format only, we will write our program into PLSQL. Okay. So again, this declaration section and this exception section are optional. Okay. These are the optional. If you want to use, you can use. If you don't want to use, don't use. But again, based on the requirement. If I want to declare a variable, definitely I will use declaration section. If I want to handle exception, yes, I will use. This is again optional. Okay. If I want to handle exception, I will definitely use this exception. I have to use this exception section if I want to handle the exception. If I'm declaring something, definitely I will use declaration section. But begin and end, these are the mandatory one. Without begin and end, you cannot execute your program. Okay. So this is a short description about the PLSQL. So again, in a PLSQL, I will share my screen for the PLSQL course syllabus. PLSQL, okay. Okay, in PLSQL, we will understand the PLSQL block. What is PLSQL block? Whatever I just explained you. So PLSQL block, advantages of PLSQL, writing programs in PLSQL. We have a cursor concept. Again, this is the fixed concept: cursor, procedure, packages, triggers. Okay, exception handling. This will be our syllabus. Okay, we will cover. And just trust me. Okay, so trust me, if you learn this and you prepare, you practice daily, you do practice daily, I trust you, we will cover this in 3 months, each and every points. Again, I will discuss with the Ankush, the duration and all. I'm just telling you the tentative time. If you are working, okay, and might be some people are not working. But if you prepare this syllabus, if you prepare SQL and PLSQL, you will definitely get the job post 3 month completion. After 3 months, you will have a job. Minimum salary package of 7 lakhs. I will commit you. But for that you need practice. And I trust you. I just tell you, SQL is very easy to learn. It's very easy to learn compared to other languages. Okay. So this is a short demo about our SQL and PLSQL. I haven't covered most things about in a PLSQL because it's a programmatical language. Unless you cover the SQL, we cannot proceed with the PLSQL. But yes, I have given you this short idea by giving the electricity example. That's what we do actually in a PLSQL. But yes, in a SQL, we use SQL to fetch the data, and to fetch the data programmatically, we use PLSQL. Again, how we connect. This is a demo lecture, so that's why I haven't covered the concept in a deeply, but I tried to make you understand thoroughly so that you get the interest in learning SQL and PLSQL. So if you guys have any doubt, or if you want to ask me anything, I will tell you. I will resolve your question. I will try to answer your question. You are open to ask any question. Okay, Abhijit. Ankush, if you can unmute Abhijit, you just want to ask something. Okay, so Gufran, the Ankush will tell you the fee structure and all. If you can ask him, he will tell you. Okay, guys, anyone has any queries or any questions? Okay, Ankush, if you can comment, or should we wind up the call? Yes, we will definitely take projects. Definitely, because my teaching is based on the project only. we will definitely cover the project. I will give an assignment as well. I will share. I will try to give as much as live projects demo to you. I will try that, and we will again do a live project as well, because I have a project and I will definitely give the assignment on that project to you as well, so that you will feel that you are actually working in a company. And if you are putting some experience, and you will not feel that fear that okay, I will, if I join some company, I will be surviving that company or not. So definitely don't worry from that part as well. So timing part, again Ankush will be telling you the timing class. So again Ankush will. So mostly as I discussed with Ankush, this would be weekends batch only. So again I will discuss with Ankush, and Ankush will let you know, guys. Gurfran, thank you so much for appreciating. Yes, definitely. Definitely. You have already 7 lakhs, and if you ask, if you tell me the total, Jayalakshmi, if you tell me the total number of experience do we have, then I can comment you the package which you will definitely get. Because if you have a 7L currently, and if you're having a 3+ experience, so I will assure you definitely get 100% hike. If you have a 3 or 4 years of experience, definitely get a higher. And if you are into a PLSQL only, then you will definitely get 100% hike. I don't know in which field you are currently working on which technology you are working on, but definitely you will get 100% hike. In finance but now, and on what technology you are working on? It's PLSQL or it is different? 11 years. Oracle. Oh, great. Definitely. So you expect, if you having a 7 LPA currently, expect 100% hike. 100, definitely 100% hike, because me, I'm just going to join one company, so I have already taken 100% hike. So no worries, 100% hike is not so miracle, in nowadays, because technology is in boom. Core accounting, definitely you will get, yes, definitely. We will make sure. Okay, guys. So I guess okay, I'm getting more than 10L. Okay, okay. So Jayalakshmi. Okay, 10L. I'm getting more than 10L at present. So we will discuss on this on the chat. So I guess Ankush has already created one chat, WhatsApp chat. So if Ankush allows you to enter your query into that chat, then we will comment on that. Okay. Okay. So guys, if you have any queries, you just directly reach to Ankush. He will resolve your query, and I will reply accordingly. Okay. Ankush, if you can comment anything, or should we wind up? Okay, Ganesh, answer to your question. Okay, so mostly, as far as I know, Oracle DBA person don't write a PLSQL procedure or function, because as per my knowledge, they generally not write PLSQL. Or I also think that they don't have much understanding to the Oracle procedure. If I have given 1,000 line of code to the Oracle developer, and I ask you to what that code is used for, so they might not in a position to tell me what exactly that code is doing. So it will definitely help you to write a procedure or a function. Or again, Kush is a DBA, so he will tell you the importance of PLSQL for a DBA person.